Hey, welcome to YouTube TV. I'm your host, Gregory Salvatore, and today we have co-founder of the YouTube Pact, Josh from the 570 Experience here. And
What's up, everybody?
hey, welcome to YouTube TV. I'm your host, Gregory Salvatore, and today we have co-founder of the... There we go. All right, Josh, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm going to bring you in here. There we go. All right, so today we have a few things to talk about. First of all, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, as Christmas is only a day away, or the start of the festivities. So, there we go. Tell me, Josh, what do you have planned for this holiday?
A little bit of eating, a little bit of working, a little bit of snow shoveling. I guess we're supposed to get flurries on Christmas Day, so yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of everything. And if we get snow, I'm definitely making some videos.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing that I see a lot. A lot of people want to take their vacation. You know, there's so much going on that they don't want to do
Yeah.
YouTube videos. But the truth of the matter is that a very large population of people on YouTube are kids, and they're home from school right now. And they got a lot of, you know, they're getting computers, they're getting tablets, they're getting new phones, you know, all on Monday, and they're going to be wanting to use them. So this is the time to be making videos.
Yep. Yeah, take advantage of this weather.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to talk about a few things coming up. One is first I want to talk about the YouTube Pack TV, and this is going to be a podcast that we're going to be doing. This is the first episode where Josh and I are going to just kind of show you a little bit and give you a teaser on what we're doing. And you can see our layout here, and we're going to have the ability to do different things. You can see the live chat. You can, even in the replay, you're going to be able to see that. And scrolling down the bottom are all the members of the YouTube Pack, and also all their descriptions are down below in the description area. So you can get to all of them. Make sure you check them all out. If you like my channel and Josh's channel, chances are you'll like all of them as well.
Absolutely. Big shout out to everybody in the YouTube pack.
Absolutely. Now, Josh, why don't you tell everybody what we have coming up special in February?
Oh, nothing. I'm not really doing anything. I'm probably gonna stay home the whole month and do nothing. No, absolutely. We have Motorama. February, what, 17th, 18th, Greg?
Yes, 17th and 18th.
17th and 18th, Motorama down in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's a huge indoor expo, automobile, motor expo, a little bit of everything. You got dirt bikes, go-karts, RC stuff. You definitely have the street rod and custom section. You also have a big, huge part sales section where you can buy brand new things for your cars, upgrades, mods, things like that. Of course, everybody else will be representing to models, different companies that promote stuff. It's going to be a huge event. And of course, the YouTube Pack will be representing strong.
Yes, very strong. In fact, all the members of the YouTube Pack that are local to Pennsylvania are planning to attend. And we're going to actually get out a schedule for everybody to see. We're going to, of when we'll be in the booth. Now, for instance, Josh of the 570 Experience, myself, and Ron, Sick Black Cadillac, we're going to be in there the whole time. Well, our cars will be there the whole time. We will be there the whole time, but we won't be in the booth the whole time. We're actually going to set up a schedule of when you will find us in the booth so that you have a chance to meet us and see our vehicles and things like that. But there's others like, for instance, Jeff, I know of Get Exhausted. He won't be there until Sunday. And we're going to work out a schedule with him as well. So there's going to be a lot. But there's one other person who is making an appearance and will be spending a lot of time in the booth for the whole weekend. And you want to tell them who that is?
I don't know. I mean, should we?
I think they're going to want to know. I think this is one of those things that they are definitely probably the biggest attraction in our booth. You forget us, forget the cars.
You would be referring to Felicia Ann?
Yep, that's right. Miss Felicia Ann is going to be spending the weekend in the booth with us with the car. She'll be looking to meet her her fans as well, and you'll have a chance to go up and meet her and talk to her and things of that nature. So,
Sometimes I almost feel like taking advantage of her. She's such a frequent flyer on all of our channels. It's actually a benefit and it's a blessing to have her representing us and doing things with our channels and our cars. So I almost kind of forget that she's like, her own separate thing. I just automatically assume that she's gonna be there anyway.
yeah, and she is, and she does her own separate thing. If any of you are out there and you want to do something with her, if you're a photographer, she does work with photographers and does her modeling on different projects. She is available as a promotional model, similar to what she'll be doing with us at Motorama. She also does promotional work and catalog work for different brands, so she's available for that as well. And her website's FeliciaAnnModel.com, and you can actually go see her, and that's what you have up on the screen right now is actually her website, where you can see her different work and stuff. And we've done a lot of stuff with her, and she's going to probably be at a lot of our events and things like that throughout the years. So make sure you're following her on Instagram. She does have a YouTube channel. However, she hasn't quite really gotten it started yet.
Yeah, we need to kick her in the butt, get her going on her YouTube.
Yeah, she does. She's got some ideas. We're going to be working some things. I think really, it's kind of just, it's that time of year. Start after the new year, get things rolling then, and that's kind of what she's waiting for. So now, moving on, I think there's something else we need to talk about. And that is the YouTube Pact has been challenged, and
My NOS sponsorship, still waiting.
yeah, the YouTube Pact has been challenged by AK Camaro 2017, and it's kind of we got called out specifically, Josh and I, in the video. So try and get this set up here. I want to.
What's up, Nick? How are you doing? We got Nick in the chat live.
Oh, hey Nick, how you doing? All right, I'm going to put up a clip so that everybody out there can actually see what we're talking about.
So the challenge that I want to do is for everybody who is in the YouTube Pack.
Who would be foolish enough to challenge the Pack?
Primarily is for Gregory Salvatore and the 570 experience. This is primarily for you guys, as being like the top in it. I want to know what you guys would do if you were not necessarily in my situation, but if you were in a situation where you had to let go of the current car that you're in and go with the competition. So Greg, like for example, if you had to get rid of your Camaro and you had to go with a Mustang or Charger, Challenger, whatever it may be, whichever one you totally hate, you have to pick that one. And Josh, for you, I don't know what your competition necessarily may be, but maybe it's the Chevy Equinox or like the Chevy Tahoe, one of those, whatever may be the competition for the Ford Explorer. So you have to basically say the positives about the car that you actually don't even like.
All right, so the challenge is that if you were stuck with the competition that you didn't like, what would you do and how would you talk about it? So, Josh, let's talk about first. Let's talk about the rest of the YouTube Pack.
Okay.
The YouTube Pack's channels are not necessarily all speed based. We have Gemi D on cars, who drives a Mazda 6, and you can tell from his channel his favorite car is a BMW. Just made an M series BMW, but I don't believe that he's in a position to purchase one at this point in his life. You have JA's channel, John, who doesn't currently own a vehicle, and so I don't know about him. Maybe his opposite would be buying a Ferrari. I mean, not real hard to talk about what the benefits of that car are.
Okay.
But then we have, you know, people who are muscle cars, but I mean, we really don't know them well enough. But their channels are really geared towards those cars. And we have Mustang, we have my Camaro, we have the Hemi. They're all part of our group. So I don't really see how this challenge really, you know, and we talked to them a little bit. It doesn't really fit their what they're doing,
Right.
because they're not driving their ultimate car for the
Right.
most part.
Their quintessential car that they, you know, would around. We're all working and striving to get that.
Right. But let's talk about us. So we got called out, named in the call out. So let's talk about you. What I mean, you don't have an Explorer. I mean, to call your car an Explorer is kind of like, I don't know, calling I can't even, it's not an Explorer. It's something more than an Explorer. So you're not going to compete against an Equinox. That's not what your car is. What is the competition for your car?
That was almost a little offensive, actually. I know he didn't mean it in that way. But no, yeah, you wouldn't compare my car to a Chevy Equinox. You would compare it to a Range Rover Sport, you know, the supercharged version. You know, an SRT8 Jeep, the Mercedes G Class. Of course, you know, the Dodge SRT Durango, which holds the best times and power ratings for third row SUV right now. Then you also have the Trackhawk, that's up there. There's a lot of competition that the Explorer Sport falls under. So yeah, should I go into explaining my answer here?
Yeah, bringing into your answer, if you were to have to purchase any one of those competitors,
I might actually I need an SUV. I need an SUV because I have children. I need an SUV because I like to be comfortable. I have a commute to work. The little bit of time, the 1% of time that I could use a truck, I just borrow a truck. It's not a big deal. But I've always had sports cars too. I guess we'll blame my wife. As soon as I met her, she started making me get rid of all my other cars. But we're gonna get them back. But SUV goes beyond my wants. So if I had to choose an SUV, realistically, within my price range for my career, things like that, there's a few I would consider. I'm not brand specific by any means. I've driven everything. I've owned a lot. I've a preference. I just currently have a Ford, and I love it. I didn't realize how much I'd love it. So to choose a different vehicle, it would probably be in the quicker version. I believe it's the S. I have to look it up. But Audi makes a sport version of their Q5, and it's quick. It's like a low 13-second. Costs around the same as the Explorer Sport did, brand new. So I'd probably go with something like that. Of course, you know, if somebody handed me the keys to a Trackhawk, I'm not going to throw them away, but
not gonna throw them back.
yeah, we're not gonna take that red key and say, you know what, keep this. I'm not gonna need all that horsepower.
Yeah. Now, Alan, you
BMW, the BMW X6M, that is a sweet car too, but that's about $25,000 more. No, about $35,000 more than what I spent on the Explorer. So, you know, that's a whole nother vehicle I could buy. So
right.
Let's talk realistically. Like, I wouldn't, honestly, even if I was down on my luck, and I've done it, I've had to purchase vehicles that I necessarily didn't like as much as I like my current car, just to save money. And
sure,
that is, What's that?
We've all been there. I mean, I've
Yeah.
bought cars that, I mean, hey, before I had my Camaro and I have it back again, it's kind of my daughter's, but I may be getting it back because she hates it so much. It's a 98 Beetle, but the book value on that car is only about $500, and it runs good. It's only got 100,000 miles on it. You don't get rid of a good running car that's paid for.
Right.
So I
Paid for it doesn't owe you anything. It's making you money because you're saving more money, and that's just my point. Like,
right.
I would drive a car I didn't like, make it what I do like. I would drive it to save money to buy what I do like, just like I did with this Explorer Sport.
Exactly. I've done that so many times in my life where it was I didn't buy a car that I didn't settle on a car that I just hated. I bought something else until I could get where I wanted to be. And like I said, a $500 car that runs well is not something, what am I going that $500 isn't going to do a whole lot for me. But that car, having that, keeping that car for a year or two or three or whatever, that's how much longer my Camaro will last. So while I bought my car to be a daily driver, it may be more of a fair weather car than I had planned because I ended up with this. Now, I haven't figured all that out yet. It's just that my daughter has recently mentioned that she doesn't want a stick shift car, and that this summer, while she's on college break, she may try to buy a $150 a month car, that type of car payment that'll get her through college and into her first job.
What's funny is while you were talking, I was looking up the stats for the vehicle that I chose, the Audi SQ5. Price is exactly the same. It's a little over $50,000. And top speed, guess what the top speed is, Greg?
149.
152. The number that they picked. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
And then 0 to 60 at 5 flat. So the car that I have now, tuned the way it is exactly that. But that car comes that stock. But like I said, if I had to choose a vehicle to switch over to, it'd be the Audi SQ5.
And Alan is in a little bit of a difference, and I know a little bit about his situation and why it was basically losing. In case you don't know Alan's story, AK Camaro 2017, he had bought a car, and within a week of having it caught fire due to a garage fire, and he lost the car. And with insurance and everything, it didn't work out the way you hope, and he was able to buy the Mustang for the same payment that he had the Camaro, but he had an opportunity to trade in a car on the new Camaro. He did not have anything to go on the Mustang, so the Mustang was quite a bit less expensive. And I want to say that he bought out of pocket after his trade-in. If I remember the story correctly, the Camaro was about $25,000 and the Mustang was about $25,000 with no money down. But so I want to use that. Now, Alan, to answer your question first, which car would I pick? The Mustang, the Charger, or the Challenger? Well, here's the thing. I like them all. I like the Camaro. I like all muscle cars. I'm a car guy. There are very few cars I don't like. So to answer this question, I would have to select a Prius, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm not driving a Prius on any day. So the question is what would I have done?
I see John did one too.
Yeah, I see Time Motors there. Okay, listen. So here's what I would do. Here's my big thing. For $25,000. You didn't choose a car you didn't like. You chose what was most important. What was most important to you was a new car. I don't buy new cars anymore. I bought one, and I really don't have any desire to buy another one. My wife has gotten new cars, and we may get her another new car one day, but I really don't buy them anymore. So here's the thing. If I have $25,000 to buy a car, and in your situation, I would have bought a Camaro. And here you go. There's 11 Camaros within 20 miles of me that, a 2014 SS. So I would have been able to get the V8 for $22,900. a 2011 SS for $22,900. Now I can understand that you know, going from a 2011 to a 2011 SS, I don't know if it's something you would want to do or whatever, but yeah, that's only got 16,000 miles. I mean, that's brand new.
That's actually just broke in for you. That's perfect.
I mean, here's a 2015 Camaro 2LT for 21, and it's got 2,500. And if you really want to go with a sixth gen, and I can understand that you would want to do that. Here's a 2016 1LT for 20,510. It's got 19,000 miles on it. That's where I would have gone. That's the kind of thing I would have done. The having the car I love would be a lot more important to me than having the new car.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's an important thing to understand, that people will follow you. People will follow you as long as you're passionate about your channel and what you do. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the newest, the latest, and greatest. Essentially, since you're telling me that you're not happy, buy something you love, no matter what it is. It could be an older car. There's plenty of people with successful channels that have older cars.
Myself included. Mine's a 2010. And Alan, you built your channel on a 2011. Get passionate about your car. The Mustang's a great car. I mean, I razz.
Did he do a walk around? Did he talk about his car? Maybe I missed it.
Dislike. He did the hate video, and he said he was going to do the like video, but he hasn't done that yet.
I asked because what motor's in it?
The 6.
He didn't get the EcoBoost?
No, he got the 6.
I mean, because there's an option right there. Bam! You have the option to you tell yourself, I'm gonna be forced to buy a V6 Mustang. Get the EcoBoost.
Well, you know what? I just realized this is probably going to be a really great thing for his channel, because think about it. He's got his whole thing is the cameras on the car, right?
Right.
That's a big part of his channel. Well, now he's going to have close-up reactions as he wipes out the crowd.
Oh, I saw what you did right there.
So, no, Alan, we know it doesn't have the live axle anymore. We're just busting on you. But the thing is it is a great car. And
the live axle was great if you knew how to drive.
Oh, yeah, sure. But I'm saying that's the reason that so many wreck. I like the Mustang. I like the Charger. I like the Challenger. I like all of them. And in the past, I've had cars that I don't like. In fact, one of the videos I want to do coming up is my car history and the cars I've had. And you'll see I've had some real winners, believe me. Real junk.
I think that would be a good video to see.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I have planned is all my past cars. And there's a lot of them. I've had, at one point in my life, I had more cars than I had driving experience.
And sorry I'm late, by the way. My alarm decided to not work at all.
Yeah, well, this is John of JA's channel. He's here today with us. He's going to wrap up the final portion with us because it's time to move on. But Alan, thanks for the challenge. I do want to, we wanted to answer you. It just didn't fit into any of our videos to make. We couldn't figure out how to make all the videos around it. We thought adding it into the YouTube Pact TV would be a great way to answer you and kind of give you an idea of how we feel about the cars. And my challenge to you is to fall in love with that car. All right, so let's bring up the final portion of it. Is let me hear. I'm going to play another clip for you, for everyone. So recently, as of yesterday, the new Grand Tour came out. And what I want to do is play a short bit from it. And then I want to get both John's and Josh's reaction to what they were talking about. So let me play it here.
This is what we're on about. People in offices all over the world just frittering away their valuable lunch hours, doing pointless things on their phones and eating plastic food.
But not anymore, because we're here to literally save lunchtimes through the crucible of motorsport.
And you may be watching this and thinking, well, that's a great idea, but how are you going to get all these people to a racetrack during their lunch hour? Well, the answer is we don't need to. The racetrack is already here. Yes, go to any business park anywhere and you'll find long straights, flowing roundabouts, sharp bends, the lot. There's a circuit to rival Silverstone or Laguna Seca right outside your office window. Today, we've chosen Horton Hall Business Park near Dunstable.
All right, so that's kind of the setup of the of what the segment was, and it goes on. I really recommend you watch it because it's really interesting. But let's start with John here. What do you think of that segment? What do you think of that idea?
I mean, in my personal opinion, it's not a bad idea, but nothing like promoting illegal activity on TV.
Well, that's not illegal. That's not
Really?
a public street. That's a private
Yeah,
street. You could actually
That would be
do
a
it.
private drive, and
I mean, that's if you have permission from the people.
Well, forget all that.
That
Talk
own the
about the
place.
idea.
yeah, let's just assume you know the owner and he's a car enthusiast too.
Okay. I think it seems like an interesting idea. I mean, shit, I'd probably do it.
How about you, John?
Screw it.
What do you think?
Well, it'd be a huge liability. I doubt many people would think that this is a, but this is definitely an interesting idea. I could see how something like that could work. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun too.
And it is like you watch the video. Now, obviously, it's not something that ever is really going to happen because, you know, when you watch the segment, there's cars in the parking lot. Nobody's going to let their car sit there, and they're racing their own cars through the parking lot. But I thought,
I mean, if he worked for Gas Monkey, he'd be all about it on his lunch breaks.
sure,
Yeah.
but
That parking lot's got more rubber in it than asphalt.
Here's the interesting. This segment really took me back when I watched it last night. When I was probably about 14 years old, I lived next to a bank parking lot. You know, bank, and they had their parking lot there. And I can remember me and my friends setting up a race course through the bank and, you know, racing each other on it and doing practice laps and things like that, and had a whole thing just like this, but on our bicycles. So it's kind of interesting, and it looked like a lot of fun, but it is like such a great idea. And, you know, if only somebody would think about, you know, being able to, and I've seen time trials and stuff on parking lots. I know I've seen it on John's channel where they've done that. You can go to a racetrack and do it. And I was at an event at a mall where in the mall they set up cones and they just raced around the track. So it is something that has been done. It's not something that's unheard of. It's just not usually at work.
Yeah. And, like, that's another thing
Yeah,
is, like,
Definitely wouldn't apply my work, but
yeah, like, I'm surprised the airport around here let them do autocross and stuff like that, which everybody in the autocross scene around here is trying to fight for that right now because the airport's being a little bit of a pain, from what I hear.
have you been to one of those events?
Yeah, I went there 3 times, I think.
Well,
Twice or 3.
I don't know the event you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but most of the ones that I've seen are actually very, very safe.
Yeah, they are.
Even though it's quick type of cars, we're talking low speeds because they throw so many turds in there, and it's enjoyable for everybody and provides a safe environment.
Yeah, I have a couple videos because I recorded it all, and I put together some videos on the autocross stuff. But I know the one guy that said he's trying to get a hold of the event. He said they're going to add ride-alongs in, like where you can ride along with the driver.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because the
It's
previous
cool, but you want
autocross.
to talk about the liability. That's where it's going to fall in.
Well, anybody that's in your vehicle, like you know, like you said, unless you're racing, but you know.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean, and ultimately you got to realize that events. You're saying that the airport's being the problem. You know, you
I don't know
what
the full
happens-
story either. I'm
Right,
only
exactly.
hearing
That's what I
bits
was going
and
to get at. You
pieces,
don't know
so.
behind the scenes. You don't know if there are other issues behind what was going on. That
Yeah.
the events. I mean, you know, sometimes those those airports don't actually shut down when you're doing these events, and you have to work around them. And if you're not able to accommodate and you're just ignoring the air traffic and stuff, you can actually you can cause issues for the airport themselves. And
yeah, I know one
things like
thing
that.
is that it's like a really small airport. It's like not huge or anything. It doesn't get a lot of air traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those real small ones.
Right.
Greg,
But
this
still,
conversation sounds very similar to something we've had recently, huh?
yeah, it does, and that's why I kind of brought it up. Is that we really,
Yeah.
there's other things that are involved other than the airport just saying no. They probably have valid reasons. Of
Right.
saying
And
no. I
honestly,
mean,
like there's a little bit of air trafficking laws, but even though an airport might not get very much to little to nothing as far as air traffic, they still have to be available for emergencies for other aircraft and things like
Right.
that. They go on a registration for when people are flying around. If they run into trouble, then they have to be available, things like that. But yeah, there's always the airport's never going to turn away their customers. So if they got a customer that's storing a plane and wants to get out there and do some flying, but there's an autocross event, they're going to make accommodations. So
Yeah, like I think the one time I was there, I think this one plane had landed on the runway we were using, I think, around that area. And we just stopped stuff, and then they got their plane in, or it was someone that was taking their plane out, I can't remember. But somebody was either doing that and taking off, but we just stopped, let them do that, and then went back to what we were doing.
right.
and
So
it
it's
depends
not like
on
we
how
were
much
trying not to.
It depends on how much pushback. I mean, if you're running an event and you're like, oh, okay, great, give us 2 minutes to clear the track, great. But if you're like, oh, well, we're in the middle of something, and can you give us 10 minutes? And that's could be where the airport sits there and goes, you know what, this isn't worth it. You're not really doing what we need, and things like that.
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
never want to hold up the air traffic, especially if you're granted permission to race on an airstrip. What I would do is capitalize on the time, give everybody a chance to let their cars cool down, make some adjustments, do some maintenance if necessary, whatever.
Yeah.
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 All right, so we're running over here a little bit. We wanted to keep this at a half hour, but what I want to do is I want to thank both John and Josh for joining us today. And in the comments, let us know what you thought of this format and what we can do. Did you like the time? We're trying to keep it at a half hour, and we may go to an hour on certain topics and things like that. But let me know what you think. Let me know about how many people, if you want to see more, and let us know how we can do it better. And just thanks for watching.
Yeah, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays and travel safe and live well and prosper. Everybody have a great holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, thanks for joining us.